and welcome. Hello, hello. This is Alicia from Chardon Sign Shack coming to you live from Chardon, Ohio. Hello and welcome. As you're hopping on, boy, I feel really out of out of sync because it's been a while since I've done a live. So let me just move a couple things around here. As you're hopping on, please say hello so I can get those comments fixed the right way. Oh, let me get them up here on this device. So many devices to, 3 of them to do a live. But please say hello. Hello, Nikki. How are you? Let me just get my page up here and I'll get my comments going hopefully on this device. Happy New Year. Yes, I hope. Hi, Judy. How are you? I hope everybody's New Year was awesome. I had a great New Year. Hey, April. How are you? Let me just swipe these comments away. Hi, Casey. Welcome, welcome. So today we're doing the fun snowmen, which is going to be this one right here. It is stencil number 9861, and I'm doing the medium, so size medium. Hi, Sherry. Hi, Becky. Hi, Nikki. Yes, make sure to sprinkle as you're hopping on, and make sure to write sprinkled in the comments. So it's 9861. And it's a medium. It is on sale today and tomorrow for 20% off. If you use my code SIGNSHACK, SIGNSHACK, you save an additional 15%. And then anything after, like this is on sale, but anything else will be 15% too. Hi, Danica. I had a brain fart there. Sorry about that. So I'm going to set this aside. Some people like to screenshot that. There is a link posted in the video, and it's when I post the video, it will be in the description, and you just have to click on the link and it will take you there. So this is the stencil we're doing. It has, I think, 3 overlays or 4 overlays. 1, maybe 3 overlays. It's the snowman with the love, with the little banner saying love. So that's what we're gonna do. Oh, you already got yours, Dominica? I've got a order ready. I just haven't clicked order yet. So, oh yes, make sure to sprinkle, which to sprinkle if you're new means to do this. There's an arrow there somewhere. Hi, Vicki, and you can just hit that arrow and sprinkle away. And as everybody's hopping on, I hope everybody had a Merry Christmas, a Happy New Year. I hope everybody had happy everything. Mine was very nice. It was very relaxing. I really had a good holiday and got some stuff done that was not necessarily painting outside, but painting inside. So this is the giveaway. So it's Snow Happens. It's this little melty snowman. And look how cute he is. He looks very surprised. And it's going to be the giveaway today. And this is stencil number 9831. And it's an extra small. And this is B. Because there's a couple of them. I have the other ones too. Everybody loves. That's awesome, Bonnie. I'm so happy for you. Hi, Stacy. Thank you very much. But welcome, welcome. Hi, Susan. So Merry Christmas, Happy New Year, happy all of it. And it's hard to believe it's 2026 now. So anyhow, if you've sprinkled, that is the gift we're going to draw at the end. We're going to do this cute project. And then we're going to show a couple of things that I ordered with my last order. And we'll have the drawing. So let me just get started here. I'm going to set this aside. And I'm going to be using a couple other stencils on this too. So I used a 1x8 and I stained it. I'll show you the stain. I stained it Midden Wax Gray, but I don't know if you can see. So I stained it gray, and when I got the whole thing stained gray, I took navy blue, I think it's navy blue Midden Wax, and I shaded it in with the gray. So it's kind of like one of the gray days we always have in Ohio this time of year. But then you can see the shades of blue. So simply I just used my staining sponge, which I get mine at, what is the name of the place? Harbor Freight. And this is what they are. They're just little sponges, terry cloth. And I stained it gray. And then when it was still wet, I rubbed in some blue. And this is what I used. I used Midden Wax water-based stain, classic gray. So I used that. And then I added just a little bit. I dipped my sponge into this navy and smeared navy in with the gray. So again, Midden Wax wood finish navy. And I thought it made a nice, pretty background, and that navy gave it a little bit of depth to it. Oh, a 1-year-old grandson, that's awesome. Awesome, awesome. But hello everyone, and let's angle you down and get started. I may have to move this up. I think that'll get almost the whole thing in. Let's see. And like I said, make sure to sprinkle, which means to do this. Now, as you know, Facebook does remove the lives after 30 days now. So I have been moving my lives. I haven't moved all of them, but I have been moving my lives to my YouTube channel. So they were like, when I do this one, I will move it tonight, more than likely. So this stencil, this medium, it's kind of between a 1x12 and a 1x, or not a 1x12, a 1x10 and a 1x8 size. And I just went with the 1x8, but I just want to make sure before I start with this bottom layer, because I've done this before, that I've got them kind of centered well between the top and the bottom. So I'm just putting my overlays on here just to make sure nothing is going to be too short down here or too long up here. Because, like I said, I have done that before. Something like that, not 100%. There we go, something like that. So I think that's going to be good. And this is the third one. So see how it's just a puzzle that goes together? Okay, so that is a good place to start. So I centered this bottom one here, right there. I did cut the wood. Let's see. I did cut it 18 inches. So it's 18 inches long, and this is a 1x8. And it's a little short on both ends. So if you do use a board smaller, make sure to make sure that it's centered, but also make sure that, because I did this with, I think, a snowman that I did on my, or a moon or something, and the moon came down here off the board. So I messed it up, I made it work. But make sure of that when you're working with a board smaller that has overlays. Make sure of that before you start. Learn from my mistakes. I try to point it out when I make them, so. Yeah, the overlays are so amazing because it allows you to paint all this amazing detail without having to tape off, so. What wood do you make your surface from? I used to use common pine from Home Depot, because Home Depot is here. I have to drive about 10 miles to get to the Lowe's. But I have been using, because Home Depot doesn't have a lot of them, but I have been using the premium pine at Lowe's. And it's really, you barely have to sand it. It's so good. It's just the best stuff ever. So I'm going to start, and I am going to lay this white out. It's Deco Arts Warm White, and I will, thank you, Sherry. Yeah, it's a combo of the classic gray and the navy, and I just, like I said, I put the gray stain down, and while it was still wet, I just dipped, and I didn't want to do it on the live because it takes a while to dry, but then I just put the tip of the staining sponge in the blue and just kind of rubbed it in and blended it really nicely, and it made a really pretty, a pretty blue. So I am going to get one of these bigger brushes, the 1/2 inch. Make sure, if you have not tried the Stencil Smith brushes, make sure to use them because they are the best. And I think I'm going to have to, I can make this one work. I like to use shop towels to offload, and they go a long way. So that's what I use to offload on. You can use paper towels. You can use this kind of paper. This is really too slick to offload on. People use coffee filters. People use towels, old towels. So it just depends what you want to use, but my favorite is shop towels. And this one was all bunched up. Somebody moved my shop towels way over there. So I'm going to start with this warm white, and I'm just going to swirl it around. And anytime I am stenciling, I do like to start, okay, so the most important thing, if you're new to stenciling, if you're just picking this up, I should tell you, because I can't assume, thank you, Sherry, that everybody is, has done this before. You want to get the, I have to get a different, this is not going to work. Let me grab a different shop towel. My garage is more of a mess than usual, because my sister is here and my husband, and they're laying our bathroom floor today. So, so I'm having to dodge all kinds of objects in the garage. But somebody moved my shop towels there, that's better. See, this one, somebody crumbled all up and it wasn't laying flat. But so if you're new to stenciling, make sure you pick up a little bit of paint. You want it just on the tip, just like that. I don't know if you can see, it's a little bit slick. See how it's a little gobby down there? And then you just want to simply offload. Offloading is going to give you, not always, but that is the way to perfect your stenciling and not get any bleeds. So I'm going to use this real pretty Deco Arts Warm White, which is my favorite white. And just go around there and get my little snowflakes. And then you just, anytime you pick paint up, you want to take it off again. You want to offload. And if, like I said, if you are getting bleeds, that's more than likely why. This is probably the first time in a long time that I have actually not done a black background, so I don't have to do a layer of gray first to make everything pop. So this is nice. So we're just getting it in there. This is our first coat, so this is kind of like an ugly coat, I guess you could call it, because it's all splotchy. And we're just going to simply go around here. And I went through and I picked what I thought was some pretty colors out today, and I will list them if you're interested after the live of the colors I used. So yeah, so get this. My sister, who is my very best friend in the world, she came up, and a lot of you know her as Sawdust Dogs, or the other half of Dee's Daughters. And she comes up once a month to help me, to kind of give me a break from taking care of my dad, because my dad lives with me. And we're redoing our bathroom. I painted it, and we're laying new floor and baseboard. And Jeff goes, do you think you can ask Heather to do the baseboard, like the miters on it, because she's so good at it? And if any of you have ordered anything from Heather before, you know exactly how good she is at her woodworking. And so I asked her, I said, would you mind cutting the baseboard before you leave? And she's like, oh no. She said, would you mind if I help Jeff and we laid the floor? Because I'm going to go home and do my son's bathroom. And she said, I want to know how to lay the floor, and I want to know how to pull a toilet, because she's doing their bathroom. So it just cracked me up. So that's what they're doing today. 70 degrees, Judy. That's so nice. It's 41 here, which is a heat wave. It has been so cold, but it's raining. Our snow is melting, thank goodness. We still have piles. It's going to take a while to melt. But as you're hopping on, please welcome, please sprinkle. Please make sure to do all the things. You'll be entered to win this cute little snowman with the one overlay. Snow happens. He's super cute, and all you have to do is sprinkle, and then write sprinkled in the comments. So I need to get some more white out here, and we're going to do another coat here. No sunshine. It's 47 there, Sherry. You guys are lucky. 65 in North Alabama. Ooh, that would be super nice. I went for a walk on New Year's Day. Simply, I love to walk, and I try to walk 3 times a week, but it's really hard this time of year because it is so slick, and I've fallen on ice and broken my tailbone twice, so I'm very careful when I walk. But I went out and I helped Jeff shovel the driveway because we got a ton of snow. Pretty much from Christmas on. We had a green Christmas. We had a white Thanksgiving, like, go figure. So then we started getting snow again, and we probably got 18 inches to 2 feet in that last snowfall. So he was like, oh, and I said, well, I'll go out and help you. So I went out to help him shovel, and I thought, you know what? I felt so good, and it was, the real feel was -1. -1. So to me, that's really cold. But I didn't feel that bad because I looked like that kid from the You Shot My Eye Out movie. I forget the name of it. He gets the Red Ryder. He wants the Red Ryder. Anyhow, Ralphie. I looked like that kid on there with the snow pants, and you can't move because I had my snow pants on, long johns, sweats. But I went for a walk, and it was quite pleasant until I got to an open field by the high school, and the wind started blowing really bad, and then it really felt -1. So then I turned around and went home. But I am ready for a warm-up. If I hadn't felt a little under the weather today, I would have tried to go for a little walk. But I did not feel super great today, so I feel like I'm fighting something off. I know there's a nasty flu going around that's getting a lot of people. So, Christmas Story, thank you so much. I knew you girls would know. I couldn't remember the name of it. Hi from Minnesota. Judy doesn't like this cold Ohio weather. Oh, that's awesome, Jarita. Yeah, my grandkids went back to school Monday, so they all spent the night here. And then the middle one, he spends more than the other two. The youngest one, he doesn't like to leave his mom that long. And then the older one has a job and he has a girlfriend. So they each stayed once, but Brody, I think, would move in with us if he could. And they're back in school, so. And it was funny. Jenny sent me a picture right before the live of Finn in his car seat because she works at the kids' school. She's a, oh gosh, I forget what you call it, but she's a teacher. She's a teaching assistant, paraprofessional. And she's going to school to get her teaching degree right now, as well as working full time. But she sent me a picture of Finn. He's passed out. He's a 6-year-old in his car seat. So it's wearing on him. 2 days of kindergarten's rough. Okay, so I am going to give this a quick dry. Oh, Kimberly, yeah, I heard it's really, really, really bad this year. My sister, she didn't know the girl, but there was a young girl that died from the flu just recently, and she went to the high school where her boys went in down near Dayton in Beaver Creek, Ohio. So they didn't know the little girl, but she passed away from the flu. I mean, it happens. I haven't got it so far, but usually if I get anything, it's from the grandkids. And I'm hoping not to. Like, do you guys ever feel like you just feel achy and like you're getting something, but you never get it? I'm feeling that way today and last night. So I'm just going to put a third coat on this because white sometimes takes a lot to cover. And it's okay if it's a little splotchy because it kind of gives it its own kind of dimension and looks like it's actually a little shaded, really, the splotchiness of the white. So that's kind of neat. And again, there's 4 of them here. 4 little snowmen. So did you guys see the new Valentines stained glass stencil and the cancer awareness ribbon stencil, which I'm assuming you could color that for any type, the ribbon that you wanted, but they were both so beautiful. First year teachers catch everything for sure. Please pray for your... Oh, I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry, Lita. Prayers and thoughts. Cancer is such a horrible disease. Oh, I need to get a little bit more there. I think I got distracted. And I'm sorry, if I ever miss anything in the comments, please message me and let me know, because I'm stenciling and I can't really look all the time at the comments, but I try to catch them. Ooh, you got it for 8 days. Yeah, I've heard it's really wicked. Oh, they look so cute. But you see how the way it's stenciled, like when you stencil it, and it's a little, see, that's a little splotchy, like it's a little darker in places. That really gives it its own kind of dimension if it's not super solid. So let's make sure this is in the window. I feel like, there we go. Maybe that'll be better. I had my ring lights pointed down. I don't know why. So let's get this. I don't have one. Okay, I like to put my... I like to put my wipes in a baggie and put my brushes in there while I'm stenciling on a project. It keeps them really nice and moist. I mean, not super wet, but it keeps them nice. Oh no, did I miss I got something special here planned for the live, and I thought I lost my pieces already. Okay, so we've got the snowman. So that's the first part, that's the base. So let's get the first overlay, which is going to be this. And you're gonna line, and if your little overlay sticker comes off, like when you use this once and you wash it, you can always, they're printed on every piece, and it'll always tell you, So when you're looking and you feel that, that's how you know this is right side up. Because some of them you can get confused and have it upside down and then mess it up. And if you ask me how I know, it's because I have done it. I have done it. Okay, and I'm going to grab my tape off of my other one and get it on here. And what I am going to do is I am going to stencil, see where it's, there's a little peak where the ribbon comes out, the banner, and it's gray. I'm going to take my brush and I'm just going to stencil that in white, because lots of times if there's two tones and you put another color over it, it changes the color, like they're different colors. So you would want to make sure to do that. Let me give it a quick dry and I'll do one more little coat. Oh, there's a little peak of gray there. And it just makes it easier when you go to put the solid color on there. So there's a little tip for you. Like my gnomes, excuse me, I like to put, usually where it meets, there's two different colors. So I would do this same thing, usually with a gray or something, like a slate gray. But I'm just putting a little bit of white down there. So, and the next thing I'm going to do is I am going to color this stuff in here. So, let me see what colors I decided on. Okay, here's red. And I am going to put red down here, but then I have something special I'm putting on top of it that I'll show you. And I think it's going to work, but we'll see. But I can't put them down, so for placement, I'm going to put it here for right now. Oops. So this is going to be black here. So this was Fort York Red Fusion Mineral. It's my very favorite red. I use that over and over and over. I haven't found a red to compare yet. And I'm going to get some black. And I'm going to get a little bit of cranberry, I think. So this is also Fusion Mineral. And this is like a different kind of red. More like a prim kind of red. It's got some purples in it. And then for this hat here, I'm going to use Deco Arts Terra Coral. And again, I will, yeah, I know you had a rough road, Nikki. Okay, so I don't know what that was doing there. So let's get some more brushes. And I'm going to start with the red. And I'm going to make the banners red. So let's get that in there. And hopefully this works out the way I envisioned. I didn't do it beforehand, but I've seen a lot of things made with corrugated cardboard, and I thought it would be fun to try on this banner and some twine. So we'll see. Just a little something different. And let's get these banners in here. And I think his hat I'm going to make red. The scarf here, this hat's going to be black, his little top hat. So again, I am offloading every time. So this scarf, and I should have done a little coat of white there too. It's the same thing. When there's two colors that are going together, always do a coat of gray or a coat of white or something to make there to kind of fill in that gray. So when you put whatever color you're putting on top of it, it doesn't change the hue, like the color of it underneath. This one I'm going to do in cranberry, I think. So I'm just giving this a quick dry because I want to put some red on it. And you can dry your stencils. Just make sure to move it around and don't put it like right down on it, because it will, am I going to make that? I want to make that. I'm going to make this cranberry. So I'm not even right there. And I'm only doing one coat of the red here because I'm putting something underneath on top of that. So let's do this coral. I'm going to do here. It's a coral, Terra Coral. I think it's a really pretty color. And again, these brushes are just, and I did play with these colors. Like I put them next to each other this morning. See how pretty that goes together, that red and that coral? So that's kind of what I was looking for. How nicely they went with each other to kind of have a little palette. I always get sensory overload when I'm doing lots of colors. And I'm going to do the brim of this hat in that coral too. The brim of his little toboggan. So let's get that. And these I'm doing in cranberry, black, and black. Okay. I gotta concentrate. Okay. So if you don't know anything about the Stencil Smith, if you're brand new, they are the most wonderful stencil company. The owners are April and Pete. They're a true small business, and husband and wife. Everything's made in the USA. Nothing is outsourced. They design their own designs. Nothing's ever out of stock. You can order different sizes, and if there is ever a size that doesn't work for you, like if you need something a little bit smaller or a little bit bigger, April will do her best to accommodate with you. Now I'm using cranberry on these. So see how pretty those colors kind of look together? They go really nicely together. And I didn't get the tip of that, and I can already see where I should have, where the gray's at. And I don't know if you can see, but I'll have to wait till that dries and put a little white on that. Yes, the coral color would be beautiful, but can you see like at the tips of the scarf here, I forgot to put just a little bit of white there where the gray was, but see how it's a different color? That's what happens if you don't put like a white or a base color, if there's two colors that you're stenciling over. So let me get this one, which I did. Make sure I got the right brush. Dipping it in the right color. And then you can see on this scarf where I did, on the edges, I did fill that in with white. So you can see the difference. Like on that one, see on the edges where you can't tell a difference, even though it's splotchy, as opposed to this one, see on the edges where it's a different color, where I didn't fill them with white. So I'm going to go back and I'll get this coral. I need to put a little bit of white right there. Give it a quick little dry. And like I said, when you dry on this, make certain to move it around, not hold it in one place, because you will bend your stencils. Where's the white? Right there. Right there. Get a little bit of that white. And that's what I should have done on that. Filled those little corners in right on the edge with the white, and it would have covered it better. So I hope that makes sense. Hi, Sherry, how are you? You haven't missed much. So we'll let that dry, and as we let it dry, we'll go back and we'll get the coral on these two items here, the coral blush, I think it is. No, it's Terra Coral, I'm sorry, Terra Coral. I keep calling it coral blush, but I think it's a really pretty complementary, nice color to the reds. And I'm gonna put a little bit of pink in there too. And this is gonna be that color. And then, so hopefully what I'm doing works out well. We'll see with my little things here. I think it's gonna be cute. I might put another coat of the red on there just in case the tips show through. Okay, I'm using the black, just plain black on the top hat and his little earmuffs. And let's do the red down here. We'll do another coat of red, even though I am gonna be covering this up in case any of the edges peek through of what I'm doing. And you'll see what I mean when I do it, but I've been wanting to try this for a while and I haven't. Like to use it in a live. Just a little bit more. Get it all around there. Especially on the outsides. Okay, and we need to get our cranberry on the scarves. I mix the brushes up sometimes. I don't know where my cranberry brush is. Huh. That's weird. It's red, blush. Oh, there it is. Sometimes it's hard to tell. Now, if you haven't ever used, if you're looking for a really good, lots of Sherry's on here, there is. Brush cleaner, you can get this brush cleaner and this heart scrubby. It helps you with your cleaning of your stencils. So I'm gonna put another coat here on this cranberry. I think it's gonna be really pretty. And it covers much better this one now that I have the white on those. And I might give this a quick little dry and do one more coat of the cranberry because it's a little blotchy. This red is blotchy, but I'm gonna be putting things over it, which you'll see in a little bit. Here, I'll be showing you. Okay, and I am gonna take the cranberry and just do one more coat on here to make it really vibrant and poppin'. So does anybody have any good plans this week? Like I said, we're redoing our bathroom. It's almost done now. They were almost done with the floor when I came, and then they got to put the toilet back on and stuff like that. But I'm excited. I think I'm going to use my red. Maybe I'll use my cranberry. And I'm going to throw it across the room and make sure I didn't get any dust on it. And I'm going to take the tips of it right there on that coral, like where the little palms are at. Not solid, just a little bit. And I might take a little bit around like the edges of that just to shade it a little bit. On the coral blush. And I might take the coral blush, or no, Terra Coral, and use just a little bit on that, on the scarf. just to give it a little dry brushing, a little dimension. And then I'm gonna take the white and I'm gonna really, really offload it well there, and maybe kind of to the side of the hat like that. Just give it a little bit of dimension there. Okay, so let's pull this one off. And we got it going on so far. He's looking really cute. Or they are. And let's get number 2. That was overlay 1, so let's get number 2 here. And we're gonna add a lot of detail here. I gotta get it lined up right. I'm gonna turn it towards me for a minute. Sometimes it's really hard to line these up upside down. And you want to check all of your snowman, not just one, because you might be a little like wonky, you know, like one end is going down and one is up. And it really does fit like a puzzle piece. So I am going to tape this one down. Here we go. And I'll turn it back towards you. And we're going to be filling in. Okay, the first thing I'm gonna do is, as you can see, there's white, and then there's gray where his arms are. So I'm just gonna take a quick coat of white before we start with anything else. And I am gonna fill anything in that's two-tone colored, like these arms. Just like so. And I think everything else, oh, the little, there we go. Okay. And I am gonna put a little coat of white here on the heart because it's on black and you want that color that you're putting on there to pop. And that's just one color, so that's okay. But all these arms had two colors going on, and you'll notice it, trust me. Okay, so we got those filled in. I'm starting to sweat in here. Okay, so let's see, what do I want to do? I think I want to do a red here, so let's get our red brush. And this is that Fort York red. This is that real bright red.
Want this turned off?
Yes, please. And I am gonna do that hat in it. And I think I'm gonna do that in cranberry. I think I'm gonna do these in cranberry. So that might be the only red I have. Oh no, the cardinal. I want to do the cardinal in red too. And you don't have to make them a cardinal, but that's what I'm making them to go with all the reds. And this is going to be cranberry. So let's get my cranberry brush here and get more cranberry out. And let's see, cranberry heart up there. There. Little, instead of little buttons, he's got little heart buttons, which I think is super cute, just the cutest little detail. And I am gonna make the earmuffs cranberry. And then of course we're gonna have the black eyes, and that's just Lamp Black Deco Arts. Ooh, and I want to do that. I want to do this white here. So these stripes I'm going to do in white. And this pom-pom is going to be white. The little zigzags and stuff. I love all the detail that April and Pete put into their stencils. Like the little patterns and stuff like that. It makes it so fun. And we got to do his arms. So let me get some, I got burnt umber here. Deco Arts burnt umber. And get it. Thank you, Donna, for sprinkling. I appreciate that. If you're just hopping on, so we're going to get a little bit of that burnt umber and offload it. If you're just joining for sprinkling, make sure you sprinkle. Make sure you write it in the comments. This is the giveaway today. Snow happens. And if you live in Sheridan, Ohio, it happens a lot, sadly. I know some people, I think they were surprised when they saw the snow we had New Year's. We get that lovely lake effect snow. Thank you, Lake Erie. So it can be, we can drive 10 miles north of here, really right on the lake, and they won't have anything. But we're the highest point south of the lake, and we get pounded. So let's get his little arms here. Our neighbors are making a super cool snow fort. They've been making it with, I think it looks like a sand pail. They've done a pretty good job on it, but my guess is it melted a lot today. That would be my guess. Okay. And let's just get a coat of this on here on all arms. And then we can go back to the red. We'll do another coat of red here. Yes, I have a cart full of stencils all the time. I no sooner order them, and then I have another cart full. So I think I have this hat in red here. And then, of course, we're going to make the cardinal red. Give them another nice bright coat there. Get the cranberry and do some more cranberry here. There's some colors that I just absolutely love on that are fusion mineral that I just can't. I've looked and it can't be replicated with the Deco Arts. But I have looked, and I'm so sad now that they don't cover it at, or carry it at Hobby Lobby now. Now you do have to order everything from the Deco Arts website. Okay, getting his eyes, and let's do another coat of white up here. Whoops. I'm throwing my brushes around today, guys. I don't know what's going on. Yep, knocking all my paints over. Okay. Oh, we got to do another coat of the brown. So let's get the burnt umber. Yeah, that's dry. You always want to make sure that your paint is dry when you're stenciling on it. Like, don't stencil over wet paint because it will just move the paint around. It doesn't cover. It'll make like a big white spot almost where the paint's wet. And you'll know when you do it. You'll be like, oh, okay, that wasn't quite dry. But usually when you're stenciling, you're using such a thin layer of paint that by the time that you get back, you know, like I've done all this, you get back, it's usually dry. Not always, but usually. So let's get some brown there. Can't miss that arm. Right there. They're going good. Jeff's out here in the garage doing something. I'm not sure what. They were almost done when I went live, so they had to take the jigsaw inside. Or, no, not the jigsaw. The jigsaw, yeah.
I'm getting ready to mount the toilet.
Oh, they're getting ready to mount the toilet. That means the floor's done, guys. I'm so excited. I'll have to post a picture. It's your floor, Nikki. It's that heirloom pine. But I am so lucky to have a sister who does things like that for me. When she comes back, she's like, do you mind if I put underlighting under your cabinets, your kitchen cabinets? She's like, I can't see when I'm here. I'm like, go right ahead. She's amazing. So we've got I think we've got everything done. Let me take a peek here and see what it's looking like. And then we've got one more overlay, but really, I'm going to be using some floral wire and some corrugated cardboard. And I think it's going to work. That's my intention, anyhow. Oh, it's looking cute. Yeah, I think that's dark enough, so we'll pull this off. So it's getting cuter and cuter every time. Okay, I'm going to set that aside. And we're going to get this. And I'm not going to put the letters on here because I am doing... I got to turn this towards me, and then I'll turn it back. I am doing cardboard over this with the letters. I want to see how it looks. I'm thinking it's going to look cute with twine. It may look really dorky. I don't know, but we'll see. We're going to try it, girls. See how it goes. Okay, and again, you want to make sure everything's lined up really nice. Because like I said, it's like a puzzle piece. So check all your snowmen that the placement is good. That could come down just a little bit there. Okay. Because you could have 3 of them lined up and then the one down here, it's went up just a little bit and it's off or something. So make sure they're all lined up. And I'm going to turn it back this way. And again, I am going to, because again, there's white and gray, there's red and white, white and coral. I'm going to take white and make this all white here. All one color. So there's not a different color when I put his nose on. So right there and right there. That one's good right there. And I think I'm going to make this white and we'll just go over that in white. But I think I'm going to make that coral, terra coral. So now this is one of those cases where there's not that much to stencil. So let's just give it a quick little dry. Okay, so I'm going to be using spiced pumpkin for his nose, their noses. I keep saying him, could be girls, I don't know. They always say snowmen, never snow woman, I don't know why. So let's get our brush out. And we're gonna offload again. And we're gonna do a coat there. And sometimes you do need to, like where the colors are meeting, run a little bit, I didn't, but run a little bit piece of packing paper just over it because there'll be like a little edge. And it's not bothering me, but it might bother some. And really, I just forgot to, so. But if you just rub your packing paper like over where those edges, before you put your white down, it will knock that edge down and it'll be smooth as glass. So let's get the coral again. I was gonna use a pink, but I think, do I still have the pink out? I think I am going to use the pink. So I've got this blush pink here. So this is blush pink. another color I'm going to add. I was going to do coral, but I'm going to put little blush pink hearts. In there. And it's another pretty, I suggest like when you're starting, like you can just take a piece of paper and put your colors that you're thinking about next to each other. And you see, because I had picked a different pink earlier and I didn't like it. It was too bright. It didn't look right with these colors. Even though it was a pink, it didn't look right. So, oh, and I want to do this string black, even though I'm going to be putting something over that. I think. Oh, I already got a black one out. What am I doing? Don't want to have to wash more brushes than you have to. And I think I showed you the soap and the heart scrubby, but you can always order that at the Stencil Smith too. So this is part of the banner, you know, holding it in place. And I know I didn't do the letters yet, but I'm going to be doing something here in a couple minutes. And I'll show you, which I think will be neat. We'll see. It might have looked good if I just did it this way, but I think it's going to be kind of cool because it's going to be textured. So let's get the orange. We'll give it a quick little dry. Just because we're going so fast there. Orange. Couldn't remember what I had there. Okay. And let's get the pink. That really pretty pink, that blush pink. And right there. Okay. So we're going to take this off. Yeah, I think one of the, and he's super cute just the way he is, right? Okay, so this was my idea. I'm going to have to use that. So I don't know if you've seen where crafters use corrugated cardboard, where they use cardboard and they tear it. So what I did, just to give you an example, and I wrote my letters on the back here because I cut them kind of to that. But what I did, I should turn my hot glue gun on. And I probably, I was going to stencil the back too. Let me do that before we do this. Okay, let me do that and then we'll go to this. So I'm going to flip it over. And I had this really cute heart stencil. And it is stencil number 9480, and it's an extra small, but look how pretty that is. So I'm going to flip the back over here, and I'm going to center it. I like to start in the center with the design. So that's like 5.5 to that one. 5.5 to that heart. So it's about centered. And don't know what I did with my tape. Oh well, new tape. And we're going to get some tape here. And I'm going to put this on the back of it and possibly the sides of it. Probably. But I thought it would be a pretty little pattern. So let's get, I'm going to do, so it looks crooked to me. Let me straighten it up here. There, that looks a little better. Looked a little wonky there. So I think I'll get the cranberry. So I'm going to get the cranberry and these bigger hearts I'm going to do in cranberry. And this is always pretty when you're doing something, if you like stencil the back of it, or the sides of it. It's really pretty. Or the backs and the sides. So these bigger ones, I'm gonna do in cranberry. Just like so. Do you guys ever stencil the sides and the back? You can't type? Thank you, Sharon. I appreciate that. And like I said, I will post them after the live, what ones I used. And just these bigger ones I'm doing in cranberry, and I think the smaller ones I'll do in that Terra Coral. This one here. And then I think that's good. So the rest of them, I think I'm going to do Terra Coral. Now, if I was probably doing this by myself and I didn't have a live going, I would probably alternate all kinds of colors in here. And you'll be able to see it when you move it, you know, what colors you used. But I'm trying to, like, for speed's sake, to go a little faster than I normally would. But I think this is a pretty color combo. And I'm going to go back over the cranberry real quick. What I need is actually a bigger brush. I'm just going to have to clean 2 cranberry brushes. That's just all there is to it. That's too slow with that smaller brush, but it was better for the smaller areas. And that's one great thing about the Stencil Smith brushes. There's so many different sizes. And April looked long and hard before she committed to a brush. Like, she wasn't going to commit to a brush till she found the exact right brush for you guys. And she had me try a lot of them. And she knew when we tried this, like, that was the pay dirt. It was the one. So, and all the brushes are made in the USA, like everything is. And did I mention the lightning fast shipping? It is lightning fast. You can't hold them accountable for the, okay, ooh, look how pretty that is. So I'm gonna move this down. I'm gonna give it a quick dry. I only did 1 coat of the coral, the Terra Coral, but it covered much better. So look how cute that is. See, just stuff like that. Like if you're selling and stuff like that, even if you're making gifts, this just brings that extra little touch to your pieces that add so much. I'm going to kind of just go here like that. It's not like a pattern that I could line up. Some patterns, like, you can line up really good. So I'm just kind of eyeballing it. And again, I'm going to do the cranberry and the bigger ones, and then the Terra Coral and the smaller ones. But it goes much faster with the bigger brush. It's like, oh, okay. Don't be silly. It's just a brush to clean. And it is easier to clean them with the cleaner and the scrubby. Let's see, that's going to be that color too. And I'm going to bring it over the sides here, but I'm going to get the Terra Coral in first. This is actually covering really good just the first time with this bigger brush. Little pieces I missed. Okay, so let's get the... So do any of you do that? You don't have any? Oh, you'll have to try them, Patricia. They are amazing. The bristles don't come out. I mean, they're just the best brushes ever. And I think anybody who's on here would tell you honestly, like I've tried just about every stencil brush out there and they are hands down the best. And that's the truth. I mean, I'm not exaggerating because I'm their ambassador or anything like that. It's the truth. They are the best. All my old ones I kept just so like my grandkids could use them when they're painting. My one grandson, Brody, he's getting old enough. He could use the good ones. He's more careful, but the 6-year-old, woo. But they're really, really nice brushes. So what I'm going to do is I am going to take this and I am going to pull the tape up and flip it like so. And then hold it. I'm trying to keep this in camera, so hopefully it is. Oh, I moved that one. And I'm just kind of jabbing it in there on the side. And this matches the hearts up. And then get some of the coral color and match. It shifts. And match that up just like so. And look how cute that looks. Like you've got it the back and then you've got it around the sides. So, and it looks just great when you extend it. So I'm going to move it down here and then we'll get the top. We don't have to worry about the bottom. So I'm going to take my tape off so I can see through the Mylar here. That's what's nice about this white Mylar. You can see through it. Someone's at the front door. Alexa is telling me. I'm not sure who. Usually it shows me a picture. Okay, and again, I'm going to do the same thing. I'm trying to keep it straight and lined up. And then let's go down here. And this would be just a beautiful... Now this stencil is not on sale, but you can get it for 15% off when you order your other order. The snowmen are on sale.
Someone's at the front door.
I hope someone answers that. I can't. I'm all the way in the back. I hear somebody now. I think. They might have been setting the toilet when somebody was ringing the doorbell. And it's easy to keep track of what colors you used because of, you know, the color that's on your stencil. And so let's just go and get this coral and get those hearts. I really like this terra coral color. I think it's very pretty. Now there's a lot of things you can do shading and highlighting with your snowman. You can put little lines in the cap of that one knit hat to make it look like serrated. There's so many things you can do. Oh, there's one I forgot. Oh, forgot two up here. So let's get this. And then we will, again, I'm going to flip it like this. Pull this up. And you just keep it in line, pull that tape up. Now mind you, I'm trying to do this and keep it on camera, so it's a little harder for me. And I'm gonna flip it. It's in camera. It's not. Okay, and then you're just gonna kind of dab that in there. And I'm just doing the coral first, because it's the brush I had. Yeah, I think everybody's getting a nice big warm up. And that shifted, I hit it with my body, so you're gonna wanna like make sure it's lined up again. And again, look how cute that is. How you flipped it over and you've got that. And let's do the top here. Where would I wanna? I'm gonna leave the top plain, I think. So I'm just gonna do the back and the sides. I didn't do the top or the bottom. Okay, so now what I'm gonna do, and again, that was stencil number 9840, and that was size extra small. Okay, so now what I'm gonna do is, what I did was, I don't know if you've seen where they take corrugated cardboard and you tear it, and they make like noses, like you could make a snowman's nose out of it. So I took my corrugated cardboard. So what I did was, just to give you an example, let's see, go this way, maybe. So what I did was, I took my stencil, and so let's just say, I'll just do a heart for an example. I've already done these. I wanted to have them done before the live. But I just took a piece of the cardboard and I traced an outline of what I'm going to cut out with the stencil. And then took my scissors. So I did this already with the pennants. And just... And you can do this with like snowman noses. You could do this with anything you wanted to raise and add a little bit of dimension to. And so just cut it out. Just like so. And then you can take one piece of it off and see how it leaves the corrugated there. It leaves that. It looks so cool, and you can paint it. You could distress it, whatever. You could just do hearts on these if you wanted. I actually might use that in place of no, I'm not going to do that. So what I did was I cut these out ahead of time. I traced these little pennants and I traced them. So this is the E. That's where the E is going to go. And then that's where the L's going to go, because they're all a little bit different. And that's why I did paint it underneath, because if the red shows, that's fine. I am going to paint these red and stencil them. This is the B. And then this is the O. But I didn't take, and you just take like one layer. And this was a Mary Kay box, and the corrugation, like all the corrugation is not the same. This was a little smaller corrugation, so this was really, really cool. So I am gonna take these off, and I'm gonna paint them, and then we'll stencil these. So let me get, I had a paintbrush out here. And I'm gonna get my red paint. And I'm just gonna paint these. These little and this is cool too because you can add like dark wax or something like that, and the corrugation would bring it out. It looks really cool antiqued, but it kind of looks like a fabric, like it's corduroy or something like that. So I thought it was really cool. And like I said, I've seen people do this like with snowman noses and all kinds of stuff. And I'd been wanting to try it on alive, but I hadn't found the perfect live I wanted to do it on yet. So, and I'm just painting this on here. Because I thought about using fabric, and I thought, you know what, that would be kind of cool to show everybody, because everybody has cardboard. I mean, my husband would tell you I'm the queen of cardboard. But it can't, sometimes it can't be avoided, boy, I don't know about the stencil Smith box. That might have really good little thin, because see, the Amazon one was a little bit, like I started with that, and I didn't want, you can see how the ribbing, the corrugation is bigger on that. So maybe for something big, I didn't want it that big. This was a little smaller. So I thought that was super cool. That's what I liked about this one. And wouldn't you know it, I went to dig in the recycling because I had already cut up the box to throw it away. And Jeff took the recycling out yesterday and it was emptied. I was like, oh, it's all the way in wherever the recycling goes. But that was a really good box. It was easy to peel and I really liked the corrugation on it. So we've got those done. And this one's curving a little bit because I took the back off of that and I didn't mean to. I took it off the wrong end. One end was easier to peel than the other, or one side was. So let me give them a quick little dry here and we'll stencil these. Yeah. That one's really burning my hands. I don't know why I'm using my noisy one. I have the one that's quiet. So, and I want to make sure, because I wrote on the back of them, Love. So, where's my stencil? Get my... There it is. Okay. So I am going to stencil the words on this cardboard. Running out of room here. When you're trying to keep everything on camera. So I'm just going to place that down there. And I did use the smallest, the little micro brush for this. It was really good. L. And then the O, hopefully I should line them up together so the letters are at least close to being together. And then the V. And I'm just eyeballing this. I mean, you could glue them down probably and then stencil them, place this and stencil them, line everything up, but I'm just eyeballing them. L-O-V. And then the E. Just like so. And I'm gonna go back and I'm gonna do one more coat. Get a little bit more white here. Where are we at? We're at 520. Whew. Sorry guys. I know that's going long. When there's a lot of overlays, it takes a while to do it. So I'm doing my second coat here. And surprisingly, it doesn't bleed too bad. That's what I was worried about with the ribbed, the corrugated, that it would bleed, but it didn't bleed too bad, at least with this little micro brush. The B. Whoop. Where would you use the cardboard, or have you used it to craft yet in your crafting? There we go. Okay. And I do want to close the bridge on my O. So let me get one of my good stencil smith. I saw somebody ask on a post online, I use my stencil smith brushes, the liner brushes, to close the bridges. They're really, really nice brushes. Closed it just like that. Oh, on roofs, that would be super cute. Hi, Pete. How are you? I thought it was Pete. Pete. Okay, so we're going to grab this. And I'm going to glue that on with the glue gun. Ooh, it got hot. Oh, I bet that was pretty. Buckets and stars. Yeah, stars are great. And like I said, you can really... you can really don't mush it down too like I just mushed the corrugation just a little bit. So the O, and that's why I stenciled it underneath. There's a little peak of red just showing through, and it also gives you a guideline of where to put them, where to line them up at. So just lightly press if you're using the corrugated. The corrugated cardboard, because you'll mush your little ribs. And where's my, oh, there's my E, it's already on there. Huh? That's about right. Yeah, burlap would be really cute. I was going to use fabric, but I thought I'd try this just to show you how you can use cardboard and give it a little dimension and make it look super cool. So, see how cute that is? Let's pull it up here. So, how cute is that? Does that not look adorable? Now you could also take twine. It's, yeah, it's everywhere. If you order Amazon, you've got corrugated cardboard. And like I said, there's other ones. This one was really good because it had really thin ribs. I was gonna do this. I'm not gonna do it because we're running so late. But I had this floral, this burlap floral twine. And what I was gonna do is I was gonna drag it through my wood glue, and it stays. It's like got a wire in it. But I'm not going to do this because it would take a long time. But you could add like twine. But you could also do this, drag it through your wood glue and just mold it to that. And that would give it even more dimension. It would look super cool like that. And this stuff I got on Amazon. It's called, I can put a link to in the comments. It's called Rustic Floral Wire Flower. So it's twine made of paper, but it holds its shape. So you can like tie bows and stuff like that. But that would be a great idea too. But I am not going to do that because we'd be here another probably 20 minutes doing that. Let me turn my glue gun off. But if I did that, I had done it on a piece of paper earlier and it stuck really good. What I did was I drug it through wood glue and then I just kind of placed it on there. And then you got to make sure though you wipe around it. So, and there's a lot of other things you could do. Thank you, Nikki. Thank you, Sherry. Like you could do more shading. You could take your little liner brush, which I don't know. Take your liner brush and you could add just little details real quickly. Like you could add some, I don't know if I rinsed it off. But you could add little lines. Always kind of knock the paint off, but you could add little lines to your carrot. You know, how they have the lines in them. But whenever I get a little bit of paint, like I'm picking up that black paint, knock it off so you don't, like there's a big glob on there. You don't want a big glob of paint just getting on your project. But you could do that. You could add that. Just like that. And it's just little things like that that add detail. And sometimes you put it on and you're like, wow, that looks really weird. But then when you're looking at it, ooh, like that got too thick. I don't like that. This paint's getting thick is what's happening. So just get your wipe real quick and wipe it off. And it's like an eraser. The black paint has been sitting out, so I'm starting to get a little bit thick is the problem. So I'm thinning it with a little bit of water. But, you know, just little, you could put a little snow on their noses if you wanted. You could add little, just real quickly, you could add little, the white, take the white, and you could add little just slashes on the hearts, and it looks like light's hitting it. Just little details like that. You could add little black veins in your arms. I didn't do that little puff a second time. You know, you could add just, and if you don't like it, just little lines, you can just wipe it off. That's all you do. But little stuff like that really makes a difference when you're doing things. You could add a little bit of fringe to the scarf, a little bit more fringe with a detail thing. But it's just, it's a really cute stencil. And I just, like I said, I wanted to try the cardboard. I thought it might look like fabric, like corduroy or something like that. You could use fabric, like they said, you could use cut out burlap and use that, but just add little details. You could add little lines even real quickly. Like you could add little lines. Maybe get a little bit of that. You know, like that, like it's the ribbing of the hat. So stuff like that, just real quick little things that just make a difference. You could add little speckles to the earmuffs. I have to do this again. But anyhow, this stencil today is on sale today and tomorrow for 20% off. Do you guys like that? Thank you, Roberta. I really like that. I think it turned out super cute. They're just the cutest little snowmen. I need to do a little something to the bird there too. He needs a little detail on him. And I will post the link, or I'll post the colors that I used after the live. And this stencil, I'll post a link to that as well. This is stencil number 9840. And it's the extra small that I used for, you know, the sides and the back of it, which look really cute. And I even thought, I'm running out of time, but just to give you a little, what would be really cute too is with the snowflakes to go around, and those are really big hearts. Like some of the smaller hearts here, you could go around and pop in little white hearts amongst the snowflakes, like it's snowing hearts. That would be super cute if you popped a couple just random hearts in among the snowflakes, I think. So, and this stencil that I just did is on sale today and tomorrow for 15% off. With my code, you save an additional 20%. So that's 35% off your total order. And then you're going to save 15% on anything else you order. If you're like me, I always like to order till I get to free shipping, because then I feel like I'm giving up a stencil that I could have had. So let me get my stencils. I'm going to show you a couple stencils, and then if you haven't sprinkled while I'm showing the stencils, make sure to sprinkle. This is the giveaway. Make sure to write sprinkled in the comments. And let me just grab it here. And I'm going to show you some recent ones that I got. Let's see. I don't even know because I got these before Christmas and I haven't really been out here. Oh, this is so cute. This is one of the Prim homes. But how cute is that? I've almost got all of them. I want to collect all of them, but it's the Prim home. Winter Wishes. This is number 9749 and it's a small, and it's got a snowman and the trees and the Prim house, but this is super cute. Got a little bit of snow, I think, here on the roof already made out for you with the stencil. April makes it so easy. Yes, I will. I always post the finished project the next day. So, and again, I do move these to YouTube for safekeeping because Facebook now deletes them after 30 days. And then these I thought were super cute when April posted them, and I was really feeling all of this, as I'm sure a lot of you were around Christmas. It was so cold. This is 10303, a small, and 10303. Oh no, hold on a minute. My eyes are 10303 and 10305. These are both smalls, but they've got all the little things. You can add these to projects. You can make just little standalone little blocks to leave around the house. They're so cute. And this is me. If it requires leaving the house, the answer is no. And that is like, I'll order anything. I was thinking today I need stamps. I'm like, can I get stamps delivered? And I looked on Walmart delivery and I can get stamps delivered. I'm like, okay, then I don't have to go to the post office. I'm really bad this time of year. Except to go for a walk. I'll leave to go for a walk. And then this one, I'm too cold for this. What is it? My snacks are gone. I don't agree to this weather. All those are really cute. Really, really cute. And these would look cute. Like you could add these to little snowmen and stuff like that as well. Oh, here's the other one. So this must be, that was 3 and 5. So this must be number 4. And just more, you got all 3 sheets. Aren't they cute? Nope, too cold. Attitude may drop with temperatures. Who ordered this weather? All this stuff. I know all you people like Stacy, you in Florida and stuff, you don't have to deal with this, but boy, let me tell you, it gets old. And then this is beautiful. I'm gonna make this. I want to make it, and I just think it's so pretty. But it's cold hands, warm heart. I've heard that my whole life, that saying, but it's with the mittens. How pretty is that? And that would look super cute on a garden flag, which I make a lot of wooden garden flags. But how beautiful is that? Very like folk arty looking, the hearts and stars and all that stuff. But and April's done all the work for you with the patterns on the mittens. So those are what I have to show you today. Oh, and that was number, I don't know if I gave you the number for that. That's number 10306, and that's the medium. So that's what I have to show you today. And like I said, after I finish this live, I'll post, it'll post to my page, and then I will move it to YouTube also for safekeeping, because Facebook does delete them after 30 days. And some people like to go back and watch them if they've never done it. But this is what we've done today, and this is what's on sale for today. I know it is. I've been in Florida in the winter, and it's 70 degrees or 65, and people are bringing out the winter jackets, and I'm like, oh my gosh. Like, it hit 40 today. I guarantee there were people out there in shorts. So you got the mitten one too. That's awesome. So anyhow, we're going to pick a winner. So we're going to have a winner for this wonderful stencil right here. Snow Happens with the little snowman, and just so cute. And there will be a winner for this, and all you had to do was sprinkle. Thank you so much for joining us. Thank you for sprinkling. I always appreciate, and I know April appreciates everybody who joins us. We're so happy to have you here. April's spinning the wheel right now, and I hope you'll come back Tuesday. We go live every Tuesday at 4 p.m. EST for a new giveaway. It landed on Patty Reitz. So Patty Reitz, you are the winner. Thank you all for joining us. Please join us again next Tuesday for another live. We'll see you then, and have a wonderful week and weekend. I hope it's warm or warming wherever you are. Bye-bye.